As companies start to reopen and Americans get back to business, insurers are looking at the best path forward as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to loom large, and fears of a second wave are fears that it's here now and will intensify in the fall. Joining us now is the Chairman, President, and CEO of MassMutual Financial Group, Roger Crandall. Roger, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
You're such an interesting company in the sense that you've got life insurance, disability insurance. You're a mutual company and don't have stockholder issues like some others. Tell me, what's been the biggest challenge for you running the business over the past 3 months, and how do things look now?
Yeah, well, again, thank you for having me on this morning. And we are a different company as a mutual company, as you suggest. We're effectively owned by our policyholders. You know, we've gone through phases here. The first step was with everybody else realizing that we need to make sure that our employees were safe. And that meant that they weren't going to be working from the office. They were going to be working from home. And very quickly getting set up to do that, getting the technology in people's homes, figuring out how do you run a call center on that basis, for example. And I'm really proud of the job that our associates did to do that. And then we started turning to the realities of what does the environment look like? And the environment from a life insurance perspective is challenging with lower interest rates, uncertainty about what we might see with equity markets. Talking about equity market volatility this morning, losses that might come from industries like energy and travel and hospitality that have been impacted because we're a big long-term investor in securities of all those industries. And then also a great demand for life insurance. Let's face it, no one wakes up in the morning and thinks about life insurance, but boy, with all the talk of the pandemic and tragically over 100,000 Americans who passed away, we've actually had more people thinking about life insurance than we have in quite a long time. So we've been busy making sure that people know that we're a great choice for them.
Roger, I imagine you also have a really unique picture of sentiment because of that. Not only claims, but questions you've got rolling in regionally. As we're reaching this stage in the pandemic where certain areas, I think like the New York and New Jersey area that were hardest hit have plateaued and are sort of easing into a different stage, perhaps, we hope. But then other regions that weren't hit as hard, we see cases rising. What are you seeing in terms of people's concerns about it, and what are your thoughts about how opening up should proceed?
Yeah, so we've got major operations in Springfield, Massachusetts, where we're headquartered, in Boston, in New York, in Phoenix, Arizona, and then we've got offices with our agents and advisors all around the country. And it is very different. Clearly what happened in New York and Boston felt very different than what happened in other parts of the country. I think everybody wants to, quote unquote, get back to work, get back to normal. People want to be with each other. But it is concerning when you see the virus doesn't care about any of this. The virus is still there. You've seen, particularly we're watching utilization of hospitals. Cases are one thing, but people ending up in ICUs is something else. So we are a little concerned, and we're making sure that our employees know if we're going to ask you to come back to the office, which we're really not anticipating doing until the fall, you're going to have to be comfortable. And if we can work remotely as we've been doing, we'll continue to do that so that we can service our policyholders and make sure that our employees are comfortable as well.
Yeah, just to dig into that a little bit more, Roger, I mean, given the fact that in the insurance industry, modeling, data analytics, these are tools that I would imagine a company like yours is very engaged in right now. What are you modeling for in terms of the business through the rest of the year where coronavirus is concerned? What does that mean potentially in terms of mortality risk in the portfolio?
Yeah, so we've been looking at all that, and we're humbled constantly by the fact that no one has seen a pandemic like this before. I mean, it is a novel coronavirus. So we've looked at a variety of circumstances, and there's no question that MassMutual, from a financial perspective, will come through this as we have every other problem and panic that's happened since we were founded back in 1851. We think it's really important that people pay attention to the basics. Wear a mask. All the pictures you're showing people have masks. Masks make a big difference. Wash your hands. We're not going to be seeing 43,000 people in a stadium we just showed down in New Zealand for quite a while, I don't think. So if we pay attention to those details, we should be able to have business and society get going again and try to manage the risk. We know this is a virus that impacts disproportionately older folks, people with underlying health issues, really, really important that they don't get infected. And we're seeing that play out.
Yeah, and you mentioned in terms of uncertainty, obviously market volatility, you have $200 billion investment portfolio. Also, interest rates, the fact that the Fed last week came out and said they're going to keep rates near zero through 2022. What does that mean in terms of your investment portfolio, and how are you navigating that?
Yeah, so we're very sensitive more to the long end of the curve, kind of what you see happening at the 10 and 30 year, and obviously rates are very low there. First, we think what the Fed has done and what the Treasury has done to just like stay-at-home orders smooth the infection curve. What the Fed is doing is it's smoothing the markets. And clearly the support of the investment-grade markets, the capital markets being open, this is very different than the 2008, 2009 downturn, and that's important. You know, for us, we need to really use technology to be more efficient. So MassMutual has invested heavily in building effectively a digital insurance company. You can go to MassMutual.com, and if you're a healthcare worker, I see some healthcare workers on the screen right now. We're giving away $3 billion of free life insurance to healthcare workers who are on the front lines around the country. So please go to MassMutual.com, and you can sign up right online. It's available in about 8 or 9 states, and we're looking to roll it out more broadly across the country. So technology lets us be more efficient, lets us meet people that they want to be met. But the low interest rate environment's a challenge for us. We're just going to have to work on the road.
Roger, finally, a lot of companies and leaders say they're reassessing their culture as social unrest rocks the nation. Are you planning to do anything differently with your workforce in the complexion of your top leadership going forward?
Yeah, I mean, so we've been fortunate. We started talking about the critical role that diversity and inclusion plays at MassMutual years ago, and that's put us in a position to have the tougher conversations around race that we think every big company has to do. I'm a firm believer that big companies need to lead. Just seeing the Supreme Court today affirm transgender rights is something that, frankly, MassMutual and other big companies had something to do with. So we need to do the same thing around racism and the problem that's going on in this country. And it's too many mornings that you wake up like we did today and see what happened down in Atlanta with Rayshard Brooks. These things just shouldn't be happening. So first, MassMutual is making sure we're talking about it ourselves and taking care of our employees, and then working similarly in the state, and certainly are going to be active federally as well. So it's time for this to end, and MassMutual intends to be a leader in that.
All right, and very quickly, Roger, are you selling your retirement services business?
I've seen rumors in the market about that, and as always, we don't talk about rumors. I will say is we have invested dramatically in the business because it's a great way for us to help almost the 3 million Americans that are customers of ours. So it's a great business, and one we continue to invest in heavily. All
right, Roger Crandall, the chairman and CEO of MassMutual Financial Group. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Appreciate being here.